Greetings, loves. It's your girl Jetty from Word Revolution, JEDITAB, HEPHZIBAH on Facebook, Jetty Tape Hefzibah, Jetty Lucas on YouTube. So thank you, Wendy, for having me on. Thank you for your work, for your unapologetic blackness, for your black girl magic and your swag. And so let's just get right into this. The situation in Libya is a geopolitical game. The U.S. intentionally destabilized the country because Gaddafi was a serious threat to the global north. Libya is the exit point for people coming from all over Africa, migrating and heading into Europe. The EU, overwhelmed with immigrants, devised a plan to interrupt and return them to Libyan shores before reaching Europe. They trained the Libyan Coast Guard, provided funding, and set up camps to hold intercepted people. In September, there were 7,000 in those camps. By November, there were 19,900. It's for immigrants who are literally being plucked from the water and locked away, where they're beaten, raped, starved, and sold by paid security. No difference. There's no difference in the suffering at the hands of slavers versus border patrol. In fact, you often can't tell which is which and who is who, and they're much in the same. So the UN got wind of it, and they basically went over and investigated and said, shut it down. It's a hot mess. There's no redeeming. There's no saving. There's no tweaking. Shut this down. Italy spoke up for the European Union and said, but it's working so good. France stood up and said, the devil is a lie. And so basically the French president is on a rampage against this. He's like, this is not okay. So I guess his heart can't take it. So he's very much involved in a lot of solution-oriented conversations. So that's just something to keep in mind. But anyway, so he forms an alliance with Germany, Italy, and Spain to get resources to Chad and Niger to deal with the reasons folks went out in the first place. Education, housing, blah, blah, blah. So the UN also has a similar setup. It's called the African Trust Fund. It funds 26 African countries for the voluntary return of immigrants to their home countries for educational products, skill building projects, border security, and infrastructure. France urged the UN to increase the budget for that by 56 million euros. No, we don't know yet what the call is on that. So basically the EU was like, we got it, don't worry about us. But the UN is like, yeah, no, we'll deal with this. There are 13 countries that have pledged to shut down the Libyan coastal hot mess. The United States seems silent, and we all know why. It's their mess. They created it, and they're just waiting for the dust to settle so they can go in and do whatever it is they plan to do when they got involved. But anyway, the question is, what can we do? We can start nonprofits and missions to funnel people into Africa to teach everything from farming to architecture, from coding to sewing, and everything in between. Black power resides in solidarity. Start small. A small I'm doing XYZ is a lot easier to support than a grand I would like to do X, Y, and Z. Combine the two, you have a recipe for change and success. It's time to get out in every way, change your idea of what a good life is, embrace and promote simplicity over materialism. Materialism is literally how we keep the oppressors in power. Simplify, scale down, and set up a working exit plan that will tie your resources of time, energy, connections, knowledge, experience, passion, and money to Africans. Keep a people-to-people approach. Embrace and rest in slow, steady, organic growth. Remember that there is no such thing as charity. Everyone has something to contribute. Learn to draw that out of people and to benefit from what we all bring to the table. We must be solution oriented, and we must be the solution. We can't do band-aids here, guys. We've got to do cure. So we can and should have nice things. Yes, I'm not saying don't go out and desire nice things, but nothing dipped in blood is nice. So what we have to do is pick a side, and we got to fight hard. So we got to use our global connections to build organizations that undermine the system which creates and perpetuate our death, destruction, and enslavement. We must give to one another that which they withhold, which means education, investment into our communities, a chance, a hope, a smile, a faith, and a belief that we can do it and we will do it. Um, we have to give each other, like I said, that which they withhold. Um, It'll also facilitate an organic unification. This small partnering will facilitate an organic unification, which has unlimited potential to bless Black folks across the globe and everyone else who wants and needs a sincere and legitimate blessing and a way not to perpetuate and strengthen that which is demonstrating in the form of current slavery in Libya. But for the record, right now, there are more slaves on the planet than there ever have been. So what we're seeing in Libya is a small tip of the iceberg, and so we're not going to run and attack the tip of the iceberg if we don't have a solution to go over there and to pay for people to be released. To be released to do what? To end up right back in the same situation because there's nothing to go home to. We have to be invested in creating the kinds of, or in fostering the kinds of nations and communities that people don't want to get out of. And the key to that is going to be education. The key to that is going to be farming and food security. And the key to that is going to be collaboration and cooperation. So I couldn't keep it under 5 minutes. Maybe you guys can cut accordingly. Again, I want to thank you, Wendy, for having me on. Anybody interested in what we're doing in Belize, this is exactly what I'm doing in Belize. What I'm suggesting that we do everywhere. You don't have to do it with me. You don't have to do it like me. But if you want to know what the solution is to all this nonsense that's going on and is happening to our people, that is your solution. You have to literally fill in those gaps. Education is killing us. Therefore, we Black people need to be educating one another. Our health is killing us. We Black people need to be teaching one another how to eat more healthy, how to grow our own food, stuff like that. So again, it's your girl Jetty from Word Revolution, JEDITAB, HEPHZIBAH on Facebook, or Jetty Lucas on YouTube. And again, thanks, Wendy. Thanks, everybody. Y'all be blessed. Hit me up if anybody has questions, want help making connections, figuring out where do I start, writing up mission statements, conceiving. If you know I like this and I do that, but I don't know how to make a program out of it, ask around, and you can always hit me up. And if I can't help you, I can definitely connect you with somebody who can. So y'all be blessed. Revolution's not a game. One love.